off with twist. We have to get some iron, but on the way, we got to beat up on the local level 1s and raise twist up. So we got to get her together doing that. Hopefully no glitches right out the gate. As we go, let's hit the introduction. See you later. Well, all right. Of course, here we are with Twist, as I said, and the big deal is what is happening with the plots. If you've started a trial to Pax Dei and you've had certain issues jumping in, is there things you could do here in the lobby to prevent it? Because I often see, I just read through Discord, and I have something good from Draknora. I don't know if I've seen that name before, but it is something cool. So in settings, I want to assure you that I don't change mine unless there's an update. And unless there's an update, looking for cats, like this FSR frame interpolation. Ooh, we looked at that. And so, it's easy to Google frame interpolation. It is just trying to put frames. It's could be made up, but it's getting less made up all the time. Quality here. If you want to change this, you will see dramatic differences. You will see them. You won't see them here. Dropping in quality gets rid of their face things, the fact that their eyes look in directions, things like that. Don't have a visual tracking bar. That'd probably be actually decent with Pax Dei. I don't know about Star Citizen, too much to look at. So you keep your computer. Well, I don't know. I don't know. Star Citizen. Check out Mac Brother, Super Mac Brother. Yeah, check out Super Mac Brother. It has cooled down out here to a normal 56 degrees, though with the mule running in here, it is a nice 71. And it's nearly 72 all the time in Pax Dei. One last thing, on your streaming distance quality, turning that down, or turning the overall quality setting down, some use to gather resources because you can see them more clearly. Just a tip if you're having a hard time finding certain things. Although they made everything larger a while ago, it used to be a lot worse, so maybe that's not quite the technique anymore. Now I thank you for joining me every night at 9. During winter, I'm probably gonna, might chill down to 7. We'll see how it goes with the kids. You'll hear them, but right now it's later, so you won't. First thing we do, the first thing you do when you get to Pax Dei is you open the chat. Hey everyone, finally found people playing. Have tried 3 different places. Well, okay, so well, what's with the period W? Okay, so, a good evening, Retz. Surprised nobody. Surprised, Discerna? Is that like discernment? Come on. When people make up names, I wonder. Surprised Discerna's message was not flooded with hellos. Really, I am surprised. Oh, not helos. Hellos. There you go. Right? We gotta have the hello, right? Hello. Do it in the right order. Why? Why is this important? Look, we're being shoved apart. We're being trained to stare at a screen a little bit longer every day for things that we need. Man, do I have the mic too high? I pray I don't. You tell me in comments if I do. Don't just stop listening for that reason. Take action. Take action. We need people in Pax Dei who take action. And that's why I'm here. Hello, Fossey and Lucille. I like Lucille. Right? It's a great name. It is. So, it is strange. When chat causes lag. Chat has always caused lag. In my experience. What do you got? I keep my hammer on. Oh, wow, it's green straight up. Somebody in Discord brought up something that I wondered. And I gave them the, right? Because I've said it before. Is it this homesteader thing? There's a 3-day hold. And I knew, they mentioned this 3-day cooldown. And I'm like, I thought I saw Mainframe mention it. I need to go back in announcements. They're not that complicated. Hey, is there a hold? Is there a hold on homesteaders joining a clan? Is there a hold? Like 3 days when a homesteader joins a clan? Because I did this. If you already know the answer to this, well, this is why I'm here. To ask questions you don't need to. So, maybe this is... It's a Kit Kat. Kit Kats. Kit Kat. Kit Kat. Anyway, I forgot that comedian's name, Man, Kit Kats. When you have more than 4 friends, or you have more than 3 friends, dang it. 2 for me. I don't know. Kit Kats are funny. You break off the bars. I don't know if I ever thought about sharing it with anybody. It's, setting adjustments. Check those out. Check out those setting adjustments. Our clan, it is 60 days until we get... Well, no, an auto one, and automatic one. I read, but not from Mainframe yet. This is why, you get these things, you're like, where do people... I know I heard something. Or, 36 hours. And I thought it was. You see, I'm typing this out. I'm sorry. But there is a difference that is difficult to nail down. And I was... And folks are wondering. So... Just making sure what I wrote. When you write things in chat, people, can take it all sorts of different ways, unfortunately. It's outstanding. So, right, so what's twist? What's twist? What did Johann make twist? Did I make it complicated for her? Must not be a Marxist. Good. Members, twist is down here as a villager, right? And obligato is a homesteader. So... what's the difference? And is this difference making people suspect? Because, don't make me go to Discord. Someone thought something went away in 3 days, and no one argued it. I don't think everybody has a chance to see what the homesteaders do. I don't think everybody has a chance to see. I don't. I got to bring on obligato and check the permissions. Right now, as villager with Candy Twist, was there a period where I couldn't destroy this floor piece behind me, which she can't replace, right? So I don't know. Excuse me. Anyway, so we're going to find that out, amongst other things. What are the differences between villager and homesteader? I don't want to destroy anything, I want. Man, I don't have anything on you. Okay, so what see, I was trying to wear out. Dang it. All right, the first thing you do is you open, this is cool. Grace, you're promoted. Clan's new post, read the news, Candy Twist. But they give you the news, because you got promoted, you got your other people swapping around here as I'm eliminating them, right? You get the Grace, the removed clan members, right? And they disappear, except your Grace. All right, that's what I was doing. We're in medium armor. I don't want to get out, but it's hard to get out. And I want to get up to swords. It's a big deal. I need level 10 to get an iron sword. Where am I in spears? That's, of course, in a different place, which I always found amazing. Okay, well, you're not going to use cleric staves first, so why is the shields down there? Why the separation? I've always wondered that. So level 11 in hand spears, I just wanted to wear this one out. And with down to shields, I guess you wouldn't look at it. We're at level 12, which is pretty hot stuff. Let's get rid of a couple local boars to make mining safer. Because I might bring obligato on to see what's up with that. Now, Twist has plots remaining, so she will take over the plots Johann has in order to get through hers. We're approaching October, so, I could wait till, September. Well, right? I could wait till September to do it and have someone else do it. But then I'm right on top of October, and October 14th is when these expire, because that's when I started. So we're there. We're nearly at a year. Jinx. No jinx. All right. Where'd our birds go? Do you have arrows on you? Yes. I often swap and put arrows, where I don't need my construction hammer. One, I quickly realize I don't have a construction hammer. Two, it shows me how many arrows I have left, which, stops those embarrassing moments. You know what I mean. You must. What is the point of Deep for Play? Are you... when you see birds fly away, I'm like, all right, nothing disturbed them. So are they actually still there? Did the birds that were there fly away? Or because you're in the world, and I got to highlight a few things, and I got to do a little bit of editing. This world isn't active when you're not there. Everything is happening around you, leaves and things in the soil at your feet, because you're there. And so these effects are queued up. I don't think there was any this close. I keep finding some in the reeds, that they all go storming off when I take a... Am I at the wrong type of day? It's 21:16. We're near the evening. Might be able to catch some sunbursts going down, but yeah, there's no birds. Will they suddenly happen? We have deer out there, or excuse me, a stag. Sorry, sir. Let's do you. That sounds very clinical. Dun 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 dun. Was there another one behind the tree? I forget. These guys no. There's a piggy, which I think queues up as soon as I get to the deer. Remember that about trees. Am I hitting an alpha? Look. Oh, did I just see it? Right there, the arrow. Where are you? See? Triggerable. But the arrow got stuck in the tree. Did you see? It's gone. No, there's one. There it is. See, the arrow got stuck in the tree when I was in front of the tree. Isn't that chill? Is there... No. You. Let's stay away from the trees. I mean, there it is. I knew it. Come here, dear. Dearie. Dearest. Wow, totally protected by the tree. I only have a couple arrows left. You. I want to get the boar. You. Oh, this is gross. Okay, dear, come back. Man, this is tough management today. We're learning something. Have you ever had an arrow stuck in a tree behind you? When you're facing the other way? There it is. Can you see it? Can you see it? Can you see it right there? Different arrow. Kind of wacky, huh? Had I seen that before? Stuck in bushes and reeds. Even if I was standing in front of them, it would just get stuck in the bushes and reeds. That is true. You boar. Oh, boar. Come here. Come here. Give me a jump. Oh, you're farther back this time. Okay. Thinking about it. Oh, we have insects. Alaska. I'll tell you what. The insects are live. We've got these things called white socks, and they're called white socks because when you land on your eyeball, which if you can see at that rate, but they land on your your sunglasses, or of course your safety glasses, which are clear. Yeah, I wanted to pick an onion. You got to make sure there's no E in the way. That's for certain. My goal is to get away without a hit. It's the best practice. But not be slow about it. Now we're going to have a couple around here. But we have the metal. And that's one of the things Twist needs to be about, is picking up the metal. No birds. So that was a thing. Come back here for these later. It's about steel. We need iron. And even, I gotta send Morty out to the the far quarry, to grab the wrought iron. We've already been out. We can go to Lioness and grab a whole bunch out there. And when we're ready to grab the pure iron, we'll be able to go out there and get that. Everybody can. In fact, you have the timeout. It reproduces all that stuff. Man, I hope this isn't too loud. Last time I chose to turn it down below this, it was low. It was very low on the recording. So you tell me. Now, one thing. Oh, come on. Slow keys. Check this out here. There's something, well, it's a little bit off topic. But, what it was, well, that's interesting. Good things. Anyway, where are you? Where are you? Where are you? Where are you? Be purposeful. Be right. Oh, I got my pictures in the wrong position. Is it Dracnora? Right? Is it Dracnora? So, the big deal... Oh, I'll find it. If I can figure out where paint says anything. It's a leather workup. And I thought it was rather brilliant. Oh my goodness. Oh, the update killed my thumbnail index. Ooh, that was making the computer work a little. 4K thumbnails. No, they're not. Well, that's what they were originally. How is your PC running? If you go into the paxday.com page and you check out your notifications, just because you haven't for a long time, right? Just because you haven't, that what you need to be looking at is this thing is a really choice. I'll tell you, I got choice words. What the heck are you doing, computer? All right, we'll check that out later. It's by Dracnora. You can actually search her up in Discord, and you can see what she's done. Very nice little image. You can give her a nice emote off that, which would be cool. Really, it would, wouldn't it? People love to hear their names. They do. You know, playing together. We're being shoved apart, and we suck socially. Maybe I do. Actually, I've met thousands. I mean, hundreds of people. I've shaken the hands of more than hundreds. I've worked with a lot of teams. I've worked with a lot of people I met for the first time. I mean, under stressful situations where people are seriously, territorially pissing. I'm not sure what's up with the current thing. Now, we didn't chat online. We called each other. I mean, we talked face to face. Everything was verbal communication. Typing back and forth, those were letters, formal memoranda and stuff like that, of things we pretty much communicated rather fully before we put them into words. And those words were just to make it formal. So today, and we've always had, chat Rambos, but people have learned to manipulate the crowd in chat because it's narcissism. So, that's just what it is. I, of course, have an incredible problem with narcissism, having lived with narcissistic abuse, malignant self-love. Malignant self-love is what these people have going for them. It's like Godfather Dan was just asked by somebody, it's like, you're the top-ranked Discord participant. What do you do in game? Well, it doesn't do anything. Or they've already done it all. Now they're just sitting on stuff, hoping to sell it to people. That's it. They're not real money traders, but they would be if they could be. But they are building up gold in game. A lot of gold. What are they going to do once they build up all that gold? Well, just spend too much on grace. You see how the grace formula goes up so fast. I mean, yeah, if a few 100,000 gold is just a decimal error, a rounding error, go ahead, I guess. Pay more for grace, get it faster. Yeah, that's what that's what they're doing. They're paying more to get it faster. Do you know how right? Is it G? Divine mushroom. Ooh, very pretty. It's not G, of course. That'd be great. I just make fun of things that things aren't. So F8. So right, you see me buying it at 20 gold just to get 10, right? And, yeah, the next step is, 50 gold to get 20, which is 10 over, right? And then 30 for 90, which is 40 more. That's a 40 increase. So anyway, around here, all this stuff, yeah, you do it. There you go. You can't, they got a clicking area. So, 120, 10,000. 10,000 gold. There's people who have that easily. They have many thousand gold. Right? So you want to get 180. Is there someone out there buying 180 gold? Somebody said, they were buying it. They were just putting in chat that they were buying it at 360. Now, there used to be a 360 up here, but they stopped that. They dropped it to 240. But there used to be a 360. It's just ridiculous. 18,977,310 gold. 18 million? Is there anybody who could actually say, yeah, that's me? But where's the 360? There's no 360. Or 360 grace? There's nothing like that. Is there a cost of 360 gold? Yes, for 60 grace. So that's what they're buying it at? 60 grace. When you could buy it at 20, for 10. So 6 times that is now 360. Is that worth it? That's what you have to wonder. But they're making enough, so that is worth it, right? 360 gold is just getting a couple harvesters. What you got, the residual harvesters, right? Half of that is 90. Is that better? Is that better to buy grace at 90 for 30? I think I'd rather do that than pay 360. Well, no, you're not mugging the big guys. You're not going to the big dungeons and all that. And that might be the thing, right? Because you can buy this grace and you can get grace blessings. You can fast travel more. So yeah, if you got, a lot of gold and you're buying, 360 is not that much. For me, knocking down things at level 1, I got to be honest with you, that's not so easy to get 360 gold, and then spend it like that. I'd rather buy 30 and with 90 pay 180 to get 60. Oops, come on. See what I mean? Well, yeah, you have to wait 2 days, or depending on when you sign on, a few minutes, because it is a 24-hour period. So, bloodied hands. Getting all the rewards again. Oh, I gotta pick up things, I gotta put them down. And you can read them. Put down 4 basic walls and put down a basic roof, or put up a basic roof on top of it. But there's a lot of people who have a castle, so they'd have to walk out back and build a little shed. It would be, I forgot the celebration where you have to use sticks and you sleep out in the yard, or go to somewhere. Darn it, I forgot what it's called. It's a Jewish tradition, which is, there wouldn't be a Christian tradition without Jewish tradition, for anybody who hasn't been informed. If it wasn't for the Jewish who believed and continued on, Christ was a Jew. He's from the Jewish lineage. Well, he's from the lineage of a people, not the Jewish religion. Of course, the Jewish religion was slowly established through the Old Testament, but Christ was always a part of that testament. Oh, the Lipton green tea with lemon. It still tastes like it has stevia in it or something. Fills up quick. That's still another thing. How many people... Man, we have a lot of new starters. I'm kind of jealous. Because they're going through things that we haven't had to go through in a long time. And they're getting to see things that I haven't gotten to see in a long time. That's why I have, I keep around low-level characters so I can see, so I can see what's happening. I don't want that there. It's so important. I have to do it right every time. Just in case you can't hear me, I'm just being sarcastic about my silliness. So, you have to do your chores for your clan. When people join a clan, if they are thinking, this is hard, if I join a clan it will be easy. If they can't take the empathy that they felt toward themselves, like, wow, I gotta go out here and pound this? This is the game? Well, these people are doing dungeon runs. And then someone says, hey, join our clan, right? Because they want clan membership. Why is there a clan retention issue? Is there only, okay, so the clans that just give because they've stowed up so much stuff, or they just produce so many byproducts as they've climbed up to the levels, right? Or gone through the crafting and earned levels. So there's a lot of excess. You have a clan of 60 people. Maybe you started with 30 as a bunch of go-getters who weren't saying, here, have this, here, have that. Maybe there wasn't that much of that. But then when you get to 60, you get a new clan person who's like, oh wow, I'm new, I don't have anything. Well, yeah, you come with us, and we'll give you the best of what you can wear, which really only goes so far. You can learn the ropes, you have us around, let's go get some mornwood, and there you find yourself. But when does your mining skill go up? When does your forestry skill go up? Or, you know, chopping and all that stuff. When does that happen? And when it has to happen, when someone in the clan goes, well, hey, can you help us fill a few chests of stuff, you know? And you're like, oh no. Now I'm back to the reason I don't like Pax Dei. Now I'm back to the reason why I didn't want to be alone. It's just, I have one. I mean, cool. What are these guys doing? Oh, I had to clean out the bunny hutch today. I have 2 chickens, 3 bunnies, and 7 cats. What about animal heraldry? Husbandry. Bit overdone. Just so I don't forget what they are. Right, you know, doing this might be kind of deja vu-y for a lot of people. Like, oh, I'm just doing this again. Man, I've always played these. I was almost going to kick off into Conan. You know, really, just boot up Conan. Boot up Empyreon. And then just suddenly see me in a different game. And, you know, just the way I would. It's been quite a while since I played either. But, you know, starting out, you know, the functions would come along quickly. Basically, Conan, you start naked. Well, if you start on the Funcom servers, you don't start naked. You don't have to worry about that. But you pick your body style. You know, I call him Conap again. You know, if you've seen in the past, I knocked this over before. It's a small space, my computer room. I see people with these big computer rooms, and I'm like, I could use that space for a lot different. I don't need a big space to roll around in a chair. And I don't need a big space to echo either. I'm loud enough. Might have noticed. Yes, decisions. Oh yeah, I'll be getting rid of a lot of stuff. Maybe not at this moment. Just so we can figure out how much we're getting rid of in the past. That's it for it this way. You can see that I have mapped out. Look at all these. Pretty ridiculous. You can turn these markers on and off, right? If you're like, oh man, I can't see the flowers that I've hidden, other marks you've made for things where elderberry was and other such things. And flax, certain areas where flax is heavy. So, yes, I use the gears. Flax is the gears of industry. So, chase a couple more over here. Or I have already, right? I came from down here where this tin and this copper are. Now these next bits of iron are way up the hill. Up there. Man, I'll tell you, the easy way to get up this hill is not easy. Oh, in fact, I just remembered it. These folks have a home up here. It's much easier to get to from the top. If you are, newer to Pax Dei and you find these mountains to be quite a barrier, and maybe, I don't know, you haven't played, I played some pretty wild terrain games, so I've gotten very used to recognizing angles and pursuing, typically, more often than not, the right way. There's a way over there, but I think it disrupts the animals. The animals. See, I'm not getting that animal. Because I don't have any arrows. There should be some boar up here. Because deers... deers... Ah, there you go. See how slow they fly away? Just watching it. Just watching it. Watching. Once I discover them, how much time do I have? I probably could have speared a couple. But then I'd have more bones and other things than I wanted to do while mining. Remembering where pheasants are, that's a good idea. They take more damage than a goose to bring down. Whoa, hi. Really? Yeah, you're getting the full meal deal here, buddies. Right. We're not mucking around. Yeah, bunch of jolly lads. Yeah, I hadn't cleaned out the bunny hutch since being first skinner. Well, you have to be a first skinner sometime. I forgot how many, and there's usually a count. Nice view of the Golden City down there. I do, I pray that you guys have not subscribed. Anybody who watches me, all 5 of you, or 3, or 2. Thank you, Athena. 12 minutes. 12 minutes. We're way past 12 minutes. We're actually multiples of 12. We're 12 multiplied by 3, and slipping away from that, and more. Right. YouTube thinks 12 minutes is great. And I'm like, that's impossible. That's got to be a lie. They're lying. They're just trying to make you feel good. Because, of course, if they're saying, well, hey, man, getting that, 12-minute average is really good. Okay. Then why am I getting a 3-minute average? Because, people go, oh, no, this is not what I want. And I'm here yapping about Pax Dei. And unless you want to hear someone yap about Pax Dei, well, why don't you do it in a more interesting way? I would have to pre-record and edit things, really, to get them like people want. I can add a lot to OBS. That's right. But then, if you remember old radio shows, and we're only talking, 70s, 80s, and 90s, they have a whole... they have production guys now, more so than not. If you watch Howard Stern, who thankfully is falling apart now. Really, I've never watched Howard Stern. There's a dang good reason. I was on the East Coast. You can look up the Grease Man. Everybody listened to him. I didn't purposefully listen to him, but he was off and on. Along with Rush Limbaugh, of course, is the military. Back when Rush was right. Back before the endless days of Megadittos. Because after a while, it just became all Megadittos. And that's all I'd hear. Usually around military places that play. Bucky, what do you want?
You're not out of food. You went back out.
bloody cats, man. You feed them treats, they're like, all right, I went outside, I came back in. Can I have more treats? No. They're permanently 6 years old. It's just they're permanently 6 years old. Anyway. Now, I know these live things are kind of funky when we talk about the 12 minutes, because you either catch them live, or it could be, I've seen up to 2 days for me to process these. Now, let me make sure it takes 2 days, and I'll show you right here. Bam. Now, we're going to get more interesting. We're running out of metal out here. So we're going to get into more interesting stuff. That's why I break down to the smaller screen. Before, we're not doing anything very interesting. Much more talky, getting through subjects. The subject isn't what I'm doing yet. Soon, I will transfer to that, where the subject is what I'm doing. At first, I like to, go through and think about, what did I see in Discord today? Because that really drives the subject. What's coming up in people's minds? Right now, it's this permissions issue. It's a permissions issue. Should I get copper while I'm up here? Nah. I'd rather have a stone pick when doing copper. Yeah, let's clear this out. Any more boars up here? I forgot. I think there might be another. It'd be nice if there was a better way to walk down. Walking down this trucker. It is a trucker. Dun 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 dun. Well, not this way. The way I went. Bump, bump, bump. Just double checking. Awesome. Pheasant. La, la, la. Oh, there you are. I need you. Pheasant give you a lot of points when it comes to things. They do. A lot of experience points. They are worth getting. But right now, I do need leather. One thing that's very nice about having the birds to hunt, that gives us another local thing to get experience off of. You're going to be slaying a lot less boars. But then, there's other things that come up. You better keep all your sinew. In fact, with the need to hunt boars less, right? To get that experience, to do the low-level combat. That'll get you out to the level 1 Inquisitors faster. Hi, guy. Lots of garlic out here. I know, I was admiring the garlic. Lots of blueberries, too. Now, we did cover last time that if you're carrying a two-handed weapon, you don't get any blocking experience when you block with it. I find that not intuitive, but the skill does say shield, not blocking. Maybe blocking should be another skill they add, just to thrill us. Those pheasants are all hanging out up there. Need an arrow to get them. You gotta wait, Bucky. I'm doing something so important. I could always take it. I could always let the cat out. I hope you guys don't mind that. It's just a thing to do. Why you get your kids to do it? They don't let the cats out. They're in the back rooms. I'm in the front room. Yes, maybe he decided to lie down. They're bored. It's getting colder. They're running out of things to hunt outside. The bunnies, I don't know if the bunnies actually ever slow down in production. They're busy all winter. Yes, my cats eat rabbits. What am I going to do? Run around and stop them? I stopped him from killing 3. And I provided for those rabbits. Ah, good. Where are you? There. I thought so. That was pretty good stereo. I nearly got it right. Nearly got it right. Now, you might think these spears are overkill for boar. Well, you need the experience. You might as well use them. You might as well wear them out. Because you're going to be going on to other things. You know, there's a couple boar up here. That's a nice place. Needs more angles. Don't have any arrows. You can always make wood arrows. 10. My yard. Where are you? They're back. We're going to be able to go goosing. Yeah, the bones aren't... I might have to drop something. Always happens. There you guys are. Let's go. Bum, 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 bum. You gotta jerk it out. There. No, get him, get him, get him. Got him. I thought that stick was another one. I have you guys. Let's go. Bum, 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 bum. Which ones are gonna stay though? Which one? Oh, that was... Dang it. You can get them in the air. You can do it. As they go up, there's just a little bit of a hitbox. I disturbed the ones over here, did I? Yes, yes. I know, that was lackluster. Yeah, my mouse is a little bit quick for the geese. And I've worked on slowing it down, but man, there's several ways on your system to slow down your mouse. One is directly in your settings. I think that's the best place, but it's kind of cumbersome to get to while you're in game. Well, actually not this one. This one you have to go away to settings and everything else to adjust your mouse. So it's basically the same amount of clicks. But the mouse adjustment in Pax Dei, I would think, just was the same one in my settings. There seems to be a difference. You know, the one in the game settings adjusts your system settings. That's what I assumed. And reasonably well. Where's the other ones? There, go. Bum, 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 bum. Who's gonna stay? Who's gonna stay? Who's gonna stay there? Dang it! Dang it. Large... It's a charade. There's some down by the shoreline. Now I'm going to run up in the hills and all that stuff too. I have a whole run of iron, but there's the camps up there. So we're going to dump this stuff off. Yeah, there's a couple extra feathers. Some good experience too. Look at these guys, come on. Stay, stay, stay. Oh no! Oh, man, I'm just going to have to sprint in on them, aren't I? No, they're down here. Yeah, I'm going to disturb a group too. Oh no, darn it, I turned too much. I am so lame. Oh well, we'll get better at this. Go. So, 47 XP. Right, you already know this. That's a lot more than a darn boar. There. Did I get it? Ah, I saw another one right in front of me for a moment. Could have been better. 47. It's nice. It's really nice. I don't want clay. There you go. And I think it's great. You know, yeah. We needed feathers for, arrows, didn't we? I mean, how can you have no feathers for arrows? So, that's an important thing. I'm glad they added it. Because it fills a hole. So not to, so to speak, exactly. We have these guys over here now. You turkeys. The Canadian goose. They appear to be. Let's go, guys. Let's go. Oh, look at how many. Get one. Two. Ah, 94. Man. So, you want to grind up some clothing, low risk, not take as much damage, go out and get some darn birds. Of course, we're proving it right here. It's the one thing that's great. There's a lot of people with opinions and feelings that talk about Pax Dei. But until you're out here doing it, because there's just as many equally and more experienced players who think Pax Dei is a very, excellent experience. Well, yeah, is it... No, okay, everybody says, what do we do, and who am I? Well, look, if the majority of people on YouTube are clicking on things they only watch for a few minutes, I'm not saying, oh, they just don't see the genius, right? No, I'm not. Why are they watching that long? If it's uninteresting to them, why are they watching it at all? That's what interests me. Well, I would hope they would watch me because I'm interesting, or at least saying something they find, rewarding to hear. Not just, oh God, this is terrible, I can't stand it anymore. Oh damn it, I went the wrong way. Oh, I didn't. Oh, get you. There you go. 82. 82. Now if I get a whole feather, I'm gonna be out of room. Good. Okay. Yeah, bird feathers. I knew it. You. Do I have enough of you? I probably do. I don't even know if I ever use this. And I don't want this anymore. Throw away sand. I'm not going to do it. You can't actually use the gems. There's no use for them. But the bird feathers here, if you haven't seen these before, these are what you use. You can unruffle your feathers and get yourself some... Ah, these cats. Oy, oy, oy. I gotta eat my birthday cake tonight. Oh, we had too much. We had too much darn stuff. And nobody could eat cake, which was very fortunate. I was like, oh dear. Oh no. I'm gonna have to take it all home. Well, when you feed people to it... Okay, we had 2 cakes. And I made chocolate chip cookies because... Well... I like chocolate chip. No, don't run! Don't run! It's not fair, you little pheasants. I don't have... Do I have feather room still? Yes, I do. I've sacrificed for it. I think there's some over here. See, the music... You're gonna wait till Bucky wants out music. These cats. It's evening. They want stuff. Animal husbandry. Do you really want to do that in Pax Dei? Oh, let's say they can. Let's go. Let's say they can. Who's gonna stay? Who's gonna stay? Who's gonna stay? Who's gonna stay? Yes! Bonus round! I tell you, you can get 2 on the ground. You just gotta get into it. And, I'm working on it. Good. Now, throwing away bone, the birds give out a very small amount of bone. I think there's another set. Good, a boar. Where's the next set of pheasants? This is why sometimes I do like the arrow bit, because I can draw a boar out away from a pheasant spot now. As you've seen, they are very close together very often. I know. How nonchalant. Ooh, look at that. Level 1's in leather. Yeah, you could do it. Level 1's in leather. You don't have to have... You can have bronze. You can see my stuff's nearly worn out. That would wear out really quick, and it's a long walk to a camp to wear out the stuff. There you go. To get my stuff... Dang it, I know there's some over here. There. No! I want to be smooth. I want to get the one on the ground first, and then turn an angle and get that one that was facing that. They go the way they face. I mean, you got that? They go the way they face. So trying to jab in that direction, but I skipped the first thing. Wow. You gotta get the hitbox right. Yes. Still got one. Always check. You, Boar. Boar's like, why you can't even get points off me anymore? Why don't you leave me alone? I dropped the shield to hit him right before, you know, timing's everything. Bones. Alright, let's, 42, I can get one more on my way back. Without dumping any feathers. They're not going to be pheasants, they're going to be geese. But here, I'm over here on purpose. Because here's one of these things. Now, somebody in Discord was trying to troubleshoot. There, was trying to troubleshoot. And what they said to a person who was saying what I said, that they're blocks, that they were going through their blocks. And I was like, all right, okay. So this person in Discord was trying to help out. Music? Come on, let's go. You're not getting food. Idiots. They're just... Music's trying to get food before Bucky. Just to prove he's better. Not going to happen. So, what they started asking was like, hey, is this stuff right on the perimeter? Or is it in the margin outside? Now, I don't have that situation. But I did wonder about what they said. Because when I walk out here, before I would go through, right? Now I'm starting to wonder. This grace plot has been useless for 19 days. 19 days when I come on with Twist, I can't do anything to it for the time that I have. Because I'm going through all the blocks. Now today I'm not. So that's an improvement, isn't it? Semiramis. Roadside Illuminaire. That sounds like very prostitutional. I'm just a roadside Illuminaire. Anyway, yeah, don't do that. So, isn't this wonderful? But that's not what I'm doing today. So I pray, because I want to bring Obligato on later. Oh, hold it. Let me make sure I've done something. I can do it from here. We have an app for our properties. You don't have to actually be there. Hold it. You got to have the Mew Mew. The Mew Mew. Hold it. It is permissions. Yeah, clan all. That was another thing. When I came in with Johan, he had some permission issues. You know? So yeah, that's interesting. Interesting. Now, I can't see my name. I was going to do it with Johan, but it's hard to see the name on this one. To have your double name showing. Is it down here now? Whoa! When did it get down there? So it's going to say, you know, Candy Twist, Plot Twist. Which is kind of doubling around. No, come here. Let's go. You're gonna die. No, you're not. Just for practice. You. Stay. See how he was in the air? He might have blocked me from getting the one on the ground. Or intercepted. Yes. Am I going to get... I'm full. Yeah, I'll be dropping feathers. Well, let's get back. See if we can get a boar on the way down. There might be a boar over here. I think there was. There's supposed to be a couple. Where'd you guys go? I thought I left a couple. Not that there'll be enough. There's one usually standing on top of this rock. There are people who have noticed that they're not finding the wildlife where they left them last. Yes, I keep on repeating. Not that everybody's listening to me, but just the few who are. You're like, why do you repeat it to us? Well, maybe you didn't hear it. And I've had 2 streams that failed to upload. They recorded, but they were not on YouTube as they should be. Processing. They weren't. Did they perform live? I don't even know. Did someone watch them live and then it disappeared? So, YouTube treats live differently than uploaded. That is for sure. Oh, I got these guys again. No, resist. See? They're all gonna fly away. Maybe. So we have... Keep that sinew. Don't mess around with that. I got a couple different places I keep bones, just so I don't get bored with the idea. It works. Always need more skins. You're going to be going through more than you think. You will. There's all sorts of stuff. All sorts of things. In fact, twist. Why not get another leather rack? Well, okay, so right now my priority isn't making things with leather. It's just when the individual needs come up. Boiled leather, though, is a skill point you open up, and I already have lime. Yes. She doesn't have the stuff, but, lime to make the inferior, but then the boiled leather, you get the... I forgot what the recipe was. I don't think I have anything more over here. Guts. Oh, the feather. That's right, it doesn't take a stack of 50. Why can't I just make 5? They do it on purpose. They already said that. The way they do the stacks, the way what you get, it's all supposed to be a little bit disruptive. Do you understand what I mean? You don't get even stacks out of the crafter. You always get odd stacks. Well, you get, 10s on the ore, but the stack is 30. Things like that. There's just little inconveniences. Okay, I don't know. If we were going with mass and volume, that would make things more interesting. No, wouldn't it? Haven't gotten any pheasants here, have I? What do we use the full feathers for? I think that's the... She doesn't have them up here. That's going to be the iron. Has everybody made these and lost 400 straw after collecting all that reed? What a joy, what a joy. There's quite a few things Twist can do here, but I'm not going to do that to you. The rough bow stave is something you might say, yeah, I can make a lot of those. You don't need them. You don't need them. You only need a couple of these bows that you would make before that you could hand between 20 people. The way they wear out, 20 people could get up to level 10 with these bows. That might be an exaggeration. I don't find it. Probably not. What do we have in the furnaces there, kiddo? And have I got iron down the shop. I'm going to get back into full ore production. But really, if you're just collecting it a little at a time, you can tell I'm full on everything. Oh dear. So if you're just collecting it a little at a time, you're going to be like, oh, that's all I can make? Maybe not even a full amount down here, just on a run. Well, I have a run that cures that problem, but it takes more time. Yeah, we're going to have to get some stuff going here. Yes. Now, I've gone into, overage with these, but as soon as I get someone crafting who's a beginner, they go through stuff. While, the people I have who I focus my blacksmithing chore upon, they can make wrought iron. Johan Nearly and Mordetoy can make the wrought iron items. I only have a little bit. And right now I want to go up through carpentry. Well, in order to go up through carpentry, you got to make a lot of carpentry stuff. And it gets into wrought iron hinges and iron and wrought iron nails, and there's all those components. Well, shoot, I want people to get experience making those things. Well, okay, it starts with brass nails and other stuff too. Well, those aren't worth anything to me anymore. Or when I want to make a set of armor, making all that brass plate isn't worth anything to Oops, I forgot those. Isn't worth anything to Mortitwai anymore. So, yeah, I do, curtail some crafting based on bringing someone else in and doing it. And it's fine. I mean, well, it doesn't happen fast. Well, okay, that was never a goal. Fast was never a goal. Doing it well, having a good time, and silver. Gotta get some stone. Not really a priority. It will be. It will be. This is a priority, yes. Need a lot of that. Because I'm only going to have one jewelry person going past those stages. Jewel crafting is if I used all this stuff, it wouldn't be a waste. Even for just little baubles. Just to get somewhere beyond baubles. There's a couple of cool things to make, little founder stuff. It has a good performance. It bobbles around on your neck. It looks rather realistic. It does not clip badly. I guess if you picked a more obese avatar, I'm not gonna, I have space for that. You won't see them. They'll sink into the skin. If you've seen my Second Life images, I have a heavyweight, and they, you have to adjust all the clothing, or it's just swallowed by their skin. And that was one of the things that there's a lot of people of larger size who needed clothing and gear, but they couldn't figure out, well, what do I do about my avatar size? Everything's clipping and weird, going through your skin, clipping. And well, in Second Life, we could help each other. So it was a lot easier. I could take their body, put it on me, which is why I had all sorts of bodies. There was lots of mesh bodies and stuff, and putting them together, well, I'll tell you, well, let's put that there. Putting them, no, let's make glass. That's what we need to do. I am sorry, Twist. We need glass. Always glass. Keep the sand. If you think there's too much sand, make glass. Just take it all. Makes it easier. Why don't you have a whole line of furnaces? You can get rid of all that. And store it. I'm already storing it. Well, you'll store less. It'll make something that takes up less space. And unneeded at the time. While it is as coal, I can use it as coal for anything I want. As I need it. While it's sand, we're only making glass with it. But we are making other things later, and you know that. Plus, there's other reasons to keep sand around. Worth a little bit of money. Still not enough room to keep that. Best to put it up here anyway. No, you. I do have to get the shop down by the water all in shape. That is right. I'm not going to have enough room for this coal. Which is fine. We'll deal with that later, Twist. Right, Twist is a villager. As you can see, she can get around and do things. Can get in to the crafters, right? Kind of a funny stairwalk almost. It's the Ministry of Silly Walks. Deer carcasses, man. when it comes down to having the byproducts, very important. What's in here? More guts. I know. What are you going to use all that for? Well, I have used it all up before. And I do have a bunch of people to get through cooking. We're about to bomb out. There's another thing. Now, as the show goes long, and until I have, folks checking me out live, I'm not going to go longer than really the hour and a half. Why? I want to bring the processing time down. Because seeing what happened on Saturday night, on Monday, might seem... People might actually look at that and go, well, what's this person's problem? Really? I think that way? Well, no, because I've read hundreds of people's opinions and comments to thousands of things. I mean, really. This is what people do. Some are very kind and very reasonable, to the point of being doormats, and they suffer for that. Others are so jaded, I mean, shoot, their own mother's not loving enough. And what can you do about that? Good. See, class is going there. I'm reviewing a couple of things. Do it. No. There you go. Okay, so there is room for iron. And I can start putting iron. There you go. Oh, dang it. It's the light. I try to play with the storage to see, how to get the best position for it. Good. And there's a canister. What are you going to use that for? Stuff. And you'll remember where it is. You will. You just choose something to put there that has a meaningful reason it's there. Now, I didn't bring any coal down here. Coal. One way to get rid of coal. Now before, man, I made a lot of uploads. In fact, I pretty much just upload as much as I played. Well, why? Did people watch it? A lot more than people that watch now. It was very surprising, actually. I thought it would be the most boring thing. But after a while, people started checking it out. I don't think it was like raving reviews or anything. In fact, I hardly ever get a comment. You gotta chop down trees before you go twist. Or you're a slacker. That's the truth. So, back to that little chunk of the conversation. When you're alone as a solo, yeah, you might find things very hard. Like, wow, this is just levels of stupid. I needed more coal than this. And I'll put it in place down there. Now we're running. Make haste. Hold it. It's kind of a relief when you don't have an axe on you, huh? Ever do that? Just not have an axe on you? You can keep a pick on you, but just not have an axe? Yeah, that's funky. That's like, whoa! That's wild, not having an axe. I could put coal in there. That'd be weird. Put it in the basket. Well, because I'm going to use a bunch. The beeswax was on me. Sometimes you just toss things down. Let's go for the first one. Still only 7. Well, I don't have enough room for enough ore. Now, this thing right before us is the largest it goes, and you only get 2, a smaller one and this one before. Wrought iron is the only thing you're going to do here. No. You can do wrought iron. So what is it you're going to do here? The heavier glass, and you get some sand and charcoal for that, baby, and we're going to be doing that. because we have to start making this glass. Some of that stands converting over. If you're thinking, oh, I made enough rough glass, I got cases of it, right? And you're thinking, I'm going to sell my sand. Well, you're going to end up with more sand, so that's probably just fine. Sell their sand. But this glass is coming up. Someone was asking in chat, a very experienced player who should have tons of stuff. They were asking about this. Were they asking you to bite, you know, so to speak, and say, well, hey, you want to buy some? Does anybody have any glass? They call it blue glass, of course, to make it exact, because rough glass just isn't good enough of a way to describe it, I guess. And we have a light spot back here. I know, it'll get better. I need different containers. These will be totally different. Yeah, totally different. Twist. It looks kind of empty right now. No, and that's another thing. Sure, we might want a lot of, you know, anybody who played Sims is probably just totally jonesing for, do I have a, did I leave a, do I have a, do I leave a, I don't think so. Cool thing. Sonic Youth. I'll tell you, sugar's gone up in price. America is expensive right now. I'm going to talk politics. If I was going to talk politics, I'd be talking about how the Russian-Ukrainian pipeline Ukraine lost $1.5 billion. Dropping that gas line. Long history before it. Cutting out the Russians. Some people might say, man, that's a $1.6 billion out of their GDP. That's a hard hit. The thing is, the Russians from running that gas through there make 6 times that. So that's a 1-to-6 ratio. Maybe 1-to-7. I mean, really, you know, maybe 1-to-8 when it comes right down to the total far end, because they're just getting paid a certain amount to be the middleman. But the Russians, especially with the price of fuel on the market as it just went, they lost a lot. You're like, what? War is all about money? You know, is that all? That's it. Then you had the Nord 1 and the Nord 2, both now useless at the bottom of the Baltic. Those were built to bypass the Ukraine. The thing is, I forgot, I think it's 110, you know, when it comes to how many cubic meters, because they use meters over there, you could get to the Nord lines. What was it, like 55, and then just putting another one in was 55 more? The one in Ukraine was like 260. A single line going over land was 260. You know, so I think it was double what the Nord 1 and 2. Now the Nord 1 and 2 would have bypassed Ukraine, left them totally out of it. But it cost Russia more. $11 million to put in place. To recondition the line in the Ukraine before the war, but it cost around $6 billion. So that's a loss. $11 billion to put the Nord 1 and 2 in the Baltic. You know, Finland, did Finland do the report on that? I think they're the guys who watch over it. They couldn't figure it out. Who destroyed that line? Now, people think, well, of course it's Russia. Yeah, because you put an $11 billion... Hard to believe it was Russia. Especially if they wanted to eliminate Ukraine as a middleman. Well, that nearly $300 billion war, that cost them a lot. The lives, Ukraine lost an immense amount. That's one thing. But a lot of it was over that line. Now, it's not really Ukraine's fault. Russia thought Ukraine was its. So they put that line there. And they thought, we're just going to sell Europe gas. And make money. That's great. In fact, that gas was, the money they were getting was free and over the top of their gross national product. So they could just use it for anything they wanted. So, today, billions of dollars, thousands of lives. Ukraine's the winner. Russia is decimated. They're decimated. They are so broke. Right, but the profits lost because now, see, Europe had been paying Russia for gas while the Ukrainian war is going, while selling the Ukrainians defensive weapons. So, what Russia was making, though they are paying Russia, and hopefully buying Ukraine, well, we sold Ukraine defensive weapons also. But Russia's taking that money and buying weapons and putting it into Ukraine. Ukraine's shutting down the gas, increasing European purchases. The Nord lines go down. Who took them out? Well, someone who wanted to keep Ukraine in the cycle. Did not want the Ukraine to be shut out. Why? Very interesting why. And we'll find out someday. Oh, dang it. So, right now as it stands, look at that, how that worked between Europe. A lot of deals. Iron. Do I have any brass left? I mean, she can use one. Iron is good. And I'd rather be making iron tools at this point. No, I have another one. I have to use the older ones. It's the only buff, yeah, I could just keep on making iron axes, but there's other things I need. I'm glad I checked the thing. It's still iron. Oh, I had said before, and I do want to make sure it's not a correction. Yeah, these. I made them on accident. It's true. I made them on accident. Snickers satisfies. Little tiny wrappers don't. So. I hit a craft doll. I need them. Last chance. Live those. Hiding those. There you are. So, yes, Russia's decimated from the war in Ukraine. Oh yeah, Ukraine suffered greatly. It's all over those pipelines. And Russia shot itself in the foot. They could have just made a deal. See, they were paying the Ukraine. And they could have just been doing that. Well, there's something else deeper. Because there was Burisma. Remember that with the Bidens. Burisma, folks. Remember all that with the Bidens? No, I don't like what our country does. That's why I voted for Trump. Because if we're going to be America, let's do it by law, not by the socialist, communist, Marxist way. And really, if Athena is not from America, I had some listeners before, two from Greece, Spain, Germany. I have a listener from the Ukraine who tunes in. A couple from Australia, but you know, the flat earthers don't believe in Australia. I don't know what to say. I'm sorry, guys. I believe in Australia, and I've never even been there. I've been the closest to Australia I've been, I think, is Jeju Island on the tip of the Korean Peninsula. I haven't been any lower. So even with only Paul Hogan, that big rugby guy who is selling Energizer batteries, and a whole lot of Australian rules football on the round pitch, you know, they don't use the rectangular pitch. If you didn't know that, now you know. Round pitch. Well, Australian rules. I guess if it's not, they're on a rectangular pitch. I mean, but it's pretty wild, that round pitch. It makes for a... It's different. It's better. I think it's better. But if you're a flat earther, you don't believe that exists. And I'm talking nonsense. I've been fooled. I don't know. Why are they pretending Australia's there if it's not? That's why the flat earthers say things that all the other liberals do. I mean, really, all the other liberals say it. They just make a statement, and no matter what fact you say, then they just start slinging all sorts of stuff at you. This is what they do with politics. It's what they do with video games. It's what they do with anything. Like I was telling you earlier, Rami had put up a few notes on a person who was having a problem with a 7800 AMD RTX, or however you want to say it. But it was a 7800, and I showed you that I have a 7900. And it had some issues, but maybe there's a solution out there I hadn't noticed. I wasn't complaining about the issues, but I did know there was something going on. I had loaded up Pax Dei on Zilla out there, which is a much faster computer than the Mule here. And, you know, well, it's got a 100 more watt power source, and you know I play at an 80%. So there's a little bit more going on there. But it's got, a higher speed CPU than the Ryzen 10, where this is a Ryzen 9, and there's a 7900. I can move up to a much higher card, and that's what I've set up to do. Well, I can move this 7900 down to the Mule and be perfectly wonderful. But there was a problem with those cards, or so I thought. A lot of people, it is true, a lot of people were having problems playing Pax Dei with that card, and then I saw other things, and I just let it lie, because things were fine with the Mule, and we're going along just chippy here. So, Rami had put up a thing, which is the common, check out your, make sure everything's updated and all that. And this person was, of course, experienced, and so and I had read their notes, and they pretty much said they did most of the things, and so I assumed there was only a couple things Rami could have listed beyond what they've already done. And I was like, I wonder if they've seen where their account is, and we could check that out as we wrap this up here. I'm not going to take you all the way through chopping trees. I'm not cruel. I am. Well, I like it all. And so I don't think what will be entertaining, because I like it all. It's just the way it is. So get more tokens. Go to your account. Is it going to sign me in? Yes. So Steam is linked. Discord is not linked. We have all this stuff. You could get a hold of. You know, I need to go through and censor this. Go ahead, call my number. Anyway, call me on the line. Resetting your graphics settings. There you go. There. So for AMD users, for NVIDIA users, right? You know, we can. Should I really take you through it? It doesn't get any larger. The birds just showed up. So you're getting rid of these caches on the previous memory. So go through this. I've already said yes to this. So go through this and say to yourself, I can do it. Clear that cache, because that person that I put that there for said this worked. And I'll tell you that I felt it. You know, I was like, dang, I'm glad it worked, because I haven't used it on my other card, and I haven't. I don't do anything. Coke Mule, I let it fail. You know, you've seen how I handle things. I don't do all that stuff. I only relog when it forces me to. You know, I only reboot when it forces me to. I push it hard because I want more answers. And that common troubleshooting thing isn't to solve the problem. Those are just common things you do for any situation. That reset that's on there online that they put, well, I just showed you under account, that is actually what you do. You know, console commands that we usually don't use, clearing out caches. If you've seen that thumbnail that asks, you know, what happened to MMOs, right? Let's wrap it up, Twist. So, you know, what happened to MMOs? You'll see this thumbnail, and it has this bare naked character on a bare naked land. Well, they're not naked. They're like, I don't know, some kind of samurai outfit maybe. But, and on the, you know, there's 3 shots. But on the outside too, it shows very simplified, as if in 2020 that this is where MMOs were at, was bare naked. And then in 2025, here's Witcher, and it shows Garrett walking through a town full of people. That is a cutscene from a game engine in a game that does not exist. Only that section of the whatever. And then they show this last screen with another bare naked character going, oh, we've reduced to this. Now, I know that's clickbait. It is. You know, but if you don't know, MMOs haven't gone... Look at how this looks. It doesn't look like that. This is as close as Witcher's gonna get. Because Pax Dei's in the lead. Mainframe picked something impossible to do. But the possibility is up in front of them. It's called 5.7, 5.8. Will that cure all problems? No. But it will, you know, and they're going to have to spend some money, or they're going to be making some dang trees. And what, did they make these? I mean, they're all the same. They're just twisted around in different directions. Well, not all the same. Well, there's 5 varieties. 6 of these, of like the beach. That's a lot of beach. That's a lot of beaches. Life's a beach. I gotta get away with what I can. Well, I want to know what you're up to in Pax Dei. So make sure if you're ever watching, you know, chat in if it's working. Oh my goodness. to sit here wondering if anybody's watching, and then to find out you might have never broadcast. That's always fun. And I do wonder if people are watching, because that's what you should do. Well, streaming live. Things will change. Make sure if you check everything out. Just got caught. See, she got backed up by that one. Am I stuck in it? Oh, I wasn't stuck. Okay, good. It's fun when you are. That would have been a good glitch to catch. That would have been nice. Well, it's not a glitch. That's me. But it should shove you out of the way. It should kill you. That'd be funny. If you got hit by a tree, you have died. And you have to respawn. It's realistic. People want realistic. They're always complaining about what should be here. Well, you don't get killed by trees. Your buildings don't fall apart when you hit them. Trying to wrap that furnace might be, that shop's kind of an inside-outside job. I'll make something interesting out of it because I've seen a lot of things in life. I didn't do a newest because it was an event, but make sure you check out announcements and community events. It's safe. No one can comment there. You're not going to read comments that suck. Unfortunately, you won't even read comments that are good. Well, I guess you'll get the emotes that are the piles of poop from those who, well, it says more about them than it says about what they're putting it under. But check that out. Find out what people are doing. Get in chat. Say hi. Alright. I'm sure most of you, your trials are over. Are there more people starting trials? Yeah, ooh, didn't really. We'll see. We'll see. Some people are actually. I'm sorry. One last thing. Do I have another tree? Yeah, I have another tree. I got a bigger one over here, don't I? A lot of people still. I mean, really, I saw a lot of comments. There's a lot of comments on people who are like, "Yeah, the trial's over," but they mean they're not seeing it on Steam. When someone asks, "Oh, your trial's over? Your 7 days are over? Did you buy the game or no?" And they're like, "No, it's over. I can't find it." We just found it the other day, didn't we? I mean, did that one make it? Did that one make it? I think it's, yeah. Since Athena commented on the 12 minute or the 12 minutes, yeah, I think I commented on that. Did I go on Steam DB for that? I don't know. Once you lose an episode, that's when you start questioning exactly what was broadcast, So yeah, we went on Steam DB and we found out that there was only a 200 person. No, how many people were? Oh my goodness, I'll have to look again. It wasn't fun news, was it? But it was, a 25% rise in participation in the game. And we were at 1,200, as a high. I could check it again. Should I check it again? Oh, come on, Twist, I'll do it to you. Let's check it again. So, let's do this right. Steam DB. Yes, I use Pinkie Pie for everything. It's official. For years, long before I knew you people, Steam DB. I hope my twerking, never mind. So, Trump made a joke about Nicki Minaj twerking at the press dinner. So, the 7-day trial. How many people are playing right now on a Saturday night? 19 people are currently in demo. I think there was 22 yesterday. Now, on this page, you'll notice the links. But you notice these links. You also detected technologies. So if you check down there in the detected technologies, you see there's a lot of like, what is that? What is it? What is it? And you can look those things up. The different NVIDIA features, is especially what you see there. The SDK, which is important because that's, you see that Discord SDK, right? You can start looking up that, and you become an irritating know-it-all, which I recommend. Pax Day itself, though, 633 people in game on a Saturday night. It is 22:41 here in Alaska. So, of course, the Ukrainian purchases, right? 50%. Do we have a... They used to have what we used to pay. Current price, look at all the different... It's pretty wild. I used to have to deal with currency around the world. Getting... Basically by showing up at an airport. Anyway, let's go to... what we have here. Now, of course, this is the low spot in many places, and we're just rising up as the report comes in. This is 5 o'clock UTC, and it's 2100 Greenwich Meridian time, not Marine. Meridian, Grand Meridian, but Greenwich Meridian, which is a place. Greenwich is a place. You can go there, and you can have the time. So 2100 hours is when that was reported. 580 players. The peak for this Saturday, August 1st, at 11 o'clock was when this was taken, in the evening, right? Must be the evening, 1258. Now, back here was 1334. And that's just last weekend on Sunday. There's nothing special going on. That's just people tuning into play who have the time. Over a month, of course, you can see... look at this predictor here. Isn't that nice how this predictor dropped? Because there's always that. 3 months. Do you see the predictor here? That predictor, it's always there. 6 months, see the predictor. But now you can see over time how we've hit this kind of bell curve. And what Altari says is right. And that's where we're supposed to get to. Get done with my stuff. What Altari says is correct. Oh, yeah. Now, the predictor is kind of saying, oh, oofty-doofty. And there's that 1353, and there's that 1258. So, we'll see, because that was our rise, wasn't it? We've gone through a lot. But is this rise from this free trial, are enough people going to be convinced to keep on going for it on this free trial? That is the biggest problem. So 17 viewers on Twitch. Heck, if that's one person, they're famous. But it might just be 17. Are there 17 people? I don't know how many people are actually broadcasting on Twitch. So, out of how many viewers, how many uploaders, how many content providers. 2.3 years ago is what you're going to see on the max of all these things. Though, nearly 200,000 people. Or as little as... It's just 140,000. 150,000 come back and jump in with the 480 that are still constantly playing. Well, if I log in with 7 different accounts, so yeah, and there's other people who do that, so it does skew it a little. And you just have to understand that. Now, the amount of people following hasn't decreased. More people follow it, and people don't unfollow it. That might not be something. So, the negative reviews and positive reviews have changed, right? It used to be pretty much a break even, or the negative reviews were eclipsing that. Supporting SteamDB, if this is a Steam paid for thing, why would I support them? That's insane. They are a multi-billion-dollar industry. Alright, anyway. Thank you, Twist. It's like, whatever. Give me my control of my face. No. There you go. So, we're in Hovercam now. Ooh, that's something I have to do, is compare old and new with Twist. There's a couple things I want to do. Your hairstyle looks pretty crazy at that point. I need Kennedy glasses. You know who Kennedy is. I need her glasses to put on Twist. Anyway. Polish women. Alright. I hope things are going well for you in life, because then they'll go better in Pax Day. But Pax Dei is the opposite of pretty much all the games you can play. There's no dopamine. Immersion is totally up to you. It's not immersive. But it depends. Maybe it's easy. You know, some people can be immersed easier. Some people can be hypnotized easier. Some people can be influenced easier. The power of suggestion works much easier on some people. Some people's faces are much easier to read. So, and that's the majority, by the way. And so the games really do go toward the majority. Pax Dei is not a majority game, but it can become one. And it can become this rich experience. It's going to take time, and Mainframe's a small crew. The fact that they took a break and they didn't at least say, we're going to work on 5.7. 5.6 is only a conglomeration of the 5.5s. Which one of the 5.5 Unreals is the Fortnite engine? They just put those together. That's why we skipped 5.5. That's why we went from 5.4 to 5.6. That's why. So there they jumped, they jumped one. I don't know if they'll be able to jump 5.7, but it's actually looking like the way they're presenting 5.8, maybe Mainframe has decided to jump 5.7 with that insight out there. I'll give them that much. Why not? Because if it's true, that's the way it is. But they should be migrating toward 5.7, all the assets, all that stuff, man. If they're not ready with that stuff, what are they going to do? Do it once they move forward? Oh, now we're going to change the trees. And that's the deal. You see trees disappearing off in the distance. Well, it's really nice now because I have it on Epic. But those would all be gone on lower settings. And there's probably... No, I'm seeing pretty far right now. But that's my settings. There are places where I'm not seeing far. And I should see trees. And you should too. Well, we could get up in, the hover cam view. So anyway, but everything will be visible, and the trees will cost the game a lot less weight. You know what I mean? So anyway, we'll go on with that as time goes on, because I've already gone on with it before. May the Lord bless you, and Lord bless you. Billy, if I caught you on these, that's awesome. Athena, Flo, glad to see you again on the comment. Osgold, wherever you are out there. Spectre, if you're lurking, glad you're lurking. And whoever my Ukrainian is, I praise the Lord, that people still have time to play Pax Dei in Ukraine. Fuck Russia. Take it easy, guys. Keep your sticks on the ice. See you tomorrow. I don't think there's a newest coming out for a while, so I better just keep on doing live streams. Take it easy. Come on, Twist. Let's get out of here. End broadcast. Yes.